It was the costliest disaster in the United States. We speak with survivors of Hurricane Katrina who have made Corpus Christi home. Your Chris 6 News at 5 starts right now. Well, good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Clara Benitez Cortez. We begin with news out of the Capitol. Governor Greg Abbott has signed House Bill 4. The redistricting bill has changed the voting maps in the state, potentially allowing 5 Republican seats in the 2026 midterm elections. Democrats have voted to challenge the new maps in court. Now, today marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina struck the Gulf Coast, the costliest natural disaster in U.S. history. More than 1,800 people were killed, and there was over $100 billion in damage. Even 2 decades later, several parts in Louisiana are still working to recover. Earlier this week, dozens of current FEMA employees signed a public letter highlighting concerns about the agency's ability to do its job this hurricane season amid funding cuts. Now, some of those who survived Hurricane Katrina relocated here to Corpus Christi. Neighborhood News reporter Jada Jenkins spoke with Ashley Rogers, who was 15 at the time of the disaster. She recently moved to Victoria, but says when her family first arrived here, they received a lot of help from the Annabelle Baptist Church.
We got on a cargo plane over here, and as the plane landed, they said, "Welcome to Corpus Christi."
There seems to be a sense of confusion.
Now, several survivors say that warm welcome was a turning point in a difficult journey. 2 decades later, they now call Corpus Christi home and say they're grateful for the community that opened its doors during a disaster. Now, we're going to go ahead and bring in meteorologist Stephanie Lauber, who is joining us now, and she's going to remind us that the dangers that these storms possess.
And, you know, there are so many. This is a very interesting part of hurricane season. I call this week around the anniversary of Katrina learning season, because there were a lot of impactful storms over the years that really taught us a lot, and that's going to be the focus of tonight's Hot Topics in the Tropics blog. It is Friday, so we have another blog tonight. You can catch it on our website, christv.com/hurricane. And you know what? We are going to talk about Harvey too. Did you know that ties Katrina as the costliest tropical cyclone to impact the U.S.? Thankfully, we're not dealing with much in the tropics right now. It's quiet all across the Gulf, the Caribbean, and, well, most of the Atlantic. There are some thunderstorms out along the Gulf Coast in association with that front we've been tracking, but way out there, over 2,000 miles away, we are tracking another wave coming off the coast of Africa. And this part of the Atlantic is generally known as the main development region. That's kind of where things start loading, and then we have to start keeping an eye on it. So this is very early in the game, just an area we're watching. Low chance of development because the environment isn't quite friendly to tropical trouble right now. So that's something we'll continue to monitor. But it's not a bad thing to celebrate a Labor Day weekend where we don't have to worry about activity in the tropics just yet. Doesn't happen very often. As we start to approach September 10th, we are in the peak of hurricane season. But this weekend, we're focusing on the peak of the heat because we are feeling it. Past couple of hours in Corpus Christi have been spicy, hitting the triple digits for actual air temperature. What to expect this holiday weekend? I'll fill you in ahead.
All right, Stephanie, thank you. Now over to Flower Bluff. A resident who was worried about flooding on her property after a city drainage project now has a solution. Mary Lou Roper contacted Chris 6 News in July after the city raised Caribbean Drive and installed larger culverts to fix a drainage problem. But Roper says the project would send more water towards her home during storms. As a medical professional who's on call, she was concerned high water could prevent her from leaving her property.
I mean, it's huge. I was at the point where, you know, it was going to impact, if we had further water, you know, certainly impact my ability to get out and do my job.
Now, Roper reached out to Neighborhood News reporter Tony Jaramillo to say that a solution finally came. The city has agreed to create a drainage system that will divert water away from her property and back towards Oso Bay. That project will start within the next month. An uncover investigation led to a raid last night on a suspected illegal gambling operation. The raid happened at the Momo's Cajun restaurant on SPID near Greenwood. It's now the Good Time Game Room. A security guard identified as 50-year-old Billy Joe Gutierrez and another employee identified as 58-year-old Arlene Torres were arrested at the game room. They're charged with engaging in organized criminal activity, money laundering, and several gambling-related charges. Gutierrez is also facing a weapons charge. Police says there could be more arrests.
I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter in Fremont. Earlier this month, Maria Canales became the interim superintendent for Fremont ISD. She tells me the story behind her family's educational dream and how it led her to Fremont's doorsteps.
For 46 years, Maria Canales devoted herself to education, a career rooted from her father's American dream. Her parents came to the U.S. from Mexico and became U.S. citizens. Canales tells me her father was a janitor at a private school and helped him clean after hours.
He said, one day, my daughter's going to be a teacher, so she won't have to sweep these floors like I do. And that just touched my heart.
That statement was enough to light a fire in her soul. She started teaching in 1979 after college and continued to climb the educational ladder.
Through all of those milestones, my parents were there to see me, and just the look on their face as of pride.
She continued her education and retired as superintendent 5 years ago, surpassing her father's dream. But retirement didn't last long. She tells me when the district called, she fit right back into the familiar role.
I just really appreciate the opportunity to guide this district, until they find, the right person.
She says she won't have an input on who the district gets to fill the position, but says she hopes that the board will pick the right person.
I think school boards need to look for superintendents that will be a team player, someone that can adopt their vision and their mission, and then see themselves as the leader of the district, but also that guides everybody.
Interim Superintendent Maria Canales says the district hopes to have a permanent superintendent named by the end of the fall semester. In Fremont, I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter, Press 6.
All right, Melissa, thank you. And the ARC Assessment Center, an emergency shelter for youth, is celebrating 25 years of serving children in need. It's all thanks to one special person, Sister Milagros Tormo. Thanks to her work, the shelter has helped 4,000 children. Our neighborhood news reporter, Stephanie Molina, spoke to her about how she has helped the children.
One case, there was a child that was almost died, and the way they we moved and what we did, that child today is alive.
Now, Sister Milagros Tormo says that the center will celebrate its 25 years of service with a gala on September 18th at the Borcher Fairgrounds. And students at Texas A&M Corpus Christi are coming home with some goodies after this morning's free grocery giveaway at the campus. Students got to pick out the variety of food favorites at the college Lone Star Ballroom, including bread, potatoes, vegetables, and some pastries. It's part of a larger initiative by the university to make sure students are not facing food insecurity and that they have the supplies they need to succeed on campus and off campus.
Absolutely. Like, it's fresh food, it's healthy for you, it's better for you, and not only do we give you the items to cook it and make it, we also show you some of the different things you can do with these items.
Now, the next grocery giveaway for university students will be on September 19th at the Anchor Ballroom, and it will be twice as big.
Lights, camera, and action. Amana Conejo near downtown with a sneak peek at the 18th annual Corpus Christi 7-day film project and what neighbors can expect from this year's films.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
Amana Conejo, your neighborhood news reporter near downtown. I speak with filmmakers taking part of Corpus Christi 7-day film project. They tell me that this event is something you won't want to miss. This is Roel Rodriguez Jr., a videographer and filmmaker, and one of the masterminds behind this trailer. If you ask him what he likes to do, he'll say filmmaking in Corpus Christi.
It makes me feel very creatively fulfilled, and it's a good creative exercise.
Another filmmaker participating in the 18th annual 7-day Corpus Christi film project, 17-year-old Neve Guerrero. The event showing 25 short films, bringing in hundreds of people from all over the state.
It's really like a good starting point for anyone who wants to go in the movie career or
just anything in general.
So what makes the event unique? Filmmakers have just 7 days to shoot, edit, and deliver a short film with unique elements.
It stresses me out to no end, but I don't know, I kind of think that's what art is.
Rodriguez tells me he's been participating for years and gave us a sneak peek of what we could see.
The film is completely in black and white and shot like an old noir film.
Organizers say tickets must be bought online, not at the door, and prices go up on Sunday. Reporting near downtown, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Ana Conejo, Chris 6 News.
All right, it's a holiday Friday. What are your plans for the weekend? Do they involve heading out the door anytime soon? Because this is actually probably the best view we've had of SPID, unless you're looking at that access road right there. A little slow for the approach to Everhart. But here's how traffic is flowing around the rest of the city on this Friday. We have some stop and go areas around downtown, as you might expect. It's actually a little slow on 37 too as you approach SPID. Folks figuring out whether they're going to take the ramp or not. But if you're headed to the crosstown, no trouble on 37. Looking more into town along the south side, things are a bit slow where SPID crosses that interchange with the crosstown. And on Saratoga, we're actually behaving pretty well. Just a little sluggish as you get toward the intersection of Saratoga and Staples. Speaking of Staples, here's a look. Again, behaving pretty well. The slowdowns don't really start until SPID down to Saratoga, and they're about typical. We're also fairly slow on Weber between the same section of town. So as you head out, make sure you stay safe and drive safe. I've got your holiday weekend forecast next. All right, let's play a game with our Skycam network. Do you see that mushroom-looking cloud? It is a tall one that you see in the bottom right from our Farley Boatworks camera in Port Aransas, and top left, that is the CCAC camera out at Snoopy's. That is a want-to-be thunderstorm. It looks closer than it is because it's very tall, but it's actually pretty far away. So I'll show you the radar now, and here's the trick of the game. Surprise, surprise. Would you have guessed that it's this little speckle all the way over here up by the Victoria Crossroads? That's that thunderstorm. It's so tall we can see it from here. But that's about the only sign of rain we are going to have in the forecast for the Labor Day weekend. That and maybe the possibility of some thunderstorms out over the Gulf as we head closer towards Sunday. But really, there's nothing between us and a whole lot of heat in the forecast. I'm sure you felt it today. We were pretty hot around the coastal bend. Could have used some clouds to help, but even then we didn't have a whole lot in that department either. So where did our high temperature top out in Corpus Christi? 100. We reached the century mark. It's not the hottest we've been on a day like today. 107, the record for August 29th in Corpus Christi. We last hit that back in 2012. Don't want to hit it anytime soon, but we'd usually be sitting around 94 degrees this time of the year. We're going to stay warmer than we expect to into the weekend as this hot trend continues. But no rainfall means our deficit for the year, $5.68 in the red. Things are getting serious fast, and September is just a few days away. That month tends to give us about 5.5 inches of rainfall. Even if we got all of that in September, we would still be behind 5.68 inches of rainfall. So we're kind of in a tough spot here, quite the pickle. We're hoping for some rain in the forecast, and I do have some in the next 7 days. We'll talk about it coming up. Right now, we're just feeling all of this water in the air. Air You Can Wear puts our dew point temperatures in the 70s. That's oppressive humidity. This is a way to measure humidity in relation to the temperature. And so here we've got some 60s. Beeville, Orange Grove, Hebronville, and Falfurrias was a part of that club, but that's a little bit more of a drier heat. You're going to have a smaller difference between your actual air temperature and the feels like temperature in these places because the humidity is slightly more tolerable. But here's the difference. We're all feeling the heat. Out on the coast, we're much cooler, about 10 degrees cooler in those lower 90s, but feeling just as hot, at times hotter. It feels like 104 in the Bluff right now where the temperature is 90 degrees. Take that in contrast to Alice, sitting at 100 degrees, feeling like 110. 103 in San Diego, feeling like 105. And up in George West, I'm sorry, y'all. There's a football game there tonight, and I hope the sunset is kind to you because 105 is feeling like 108 right now. So where do we go from here? We're going to have a good deal of humidity into the overnight, as we typically expect. Air You Can Wear as we start things out tomorrow morning with light winds. So here's the transition between here and that. If you're attending a high school football game tonight, of course, Larissa Liska will have that coverage for you tonight if you plan to stay indoors in the AC, because we're going to be in those middle 80s with winds around 10 to 15 miles per hour from that humid southeast direction. Those will be more quiet into the overnight, but look, the temperature doesn't drop a whole lot. We'll be in those upper 70s to kick things off for your Saturday morning. And if you're planning to head to the coast to maybe find some relief, we are going to be dealing with some hot temperatures there too. Similar to today, temperatures will be near 90, but feeling like the triple digits. Winds a bit breezy out there coming off the water, 10 to 20 miles per hour at surf, 1 to 3 feet. Make sure you've got that SPF 30 or better. We're going to have extreme UV index as we head through this upcoming weekend. But I promised rain in the 7-day forecast. Looks like that'll arrive on Monday.
Now, the local events and fun things to do. It's Coastal Bend Weekend with the Hoffmans.
Well, this Labor Day weekend, say goodbye to that weekend routine and hello to soaking up some fun.
The adventure begins right here in your neighborhood on North Padre Island.
Paddle for Parkinson's is back and making a big splash for its 15th year, with more than 100 people expected to participate.
Join the floating festivities this Saturday at 9 a.m. at Billish Park Boat Launch, all for a special cause.
Over the last 15 years, $183,000 has been raised from the events, all benefiting local Parkinson's support groups.
When the founder of this event, Ramona Singletary, thought of doing this, her brother has Parkinson's, and there were no support groups for families. There was not much information on how to care for someone with Parkinson's. So all this funding has gone to support family members who are caregivers.
The route, a 2.5-mile loop, perfect for beginners and seasoned paddlers alike.
Anything human-powered is welcome. Kayaks, canoes, paddle boards, you name it.
Not feeling the float? No worries. All you landlubbers can enjoy live music, smoking barbecue, and a lighthearted awards ceremony.
You can sign up to join online or show up the day of.
Shifting gears, for more fun on dry land and a good cause, speed on over to the South Texas Race Ranch.
They're hosting a benefit concert all weekend long, so make sure you check out our website for the schedule.
General admission is $20 and a weekend pass will run you $55. 20% of all proceeds will benefit the Community Foundation of Texas Hill Country, supporting the flood victims in Kerrville.
And if you're ready to pitch in for a purpose, don't miss tonight's charity softball game. Driscoll Children's Hospital takes on Ronald McDonald House at Whataburger Field.
All the money raised goes to the winning charity. Pitch for a Cause starts at 6:30 tonight.
And get ready to roll out the red carpet, Coastal Bend. The Corpus Christi 7-day film screening is premiering this Sunday at the Alamo Draft House, and it's sure to be a real treat.
Local filmmakers took on a lights, camera, deadline challenge to turn their visions into big screen magic, all in just 7 days.
If you want to see what cinematic surprises they cook up under pressure, you can.
Doors open at 12:15 p.m. sharp, and the screening starts right on time.
And if you want to make a splash and find other fun events floating around in your neighborhood, head to our website, christv.com.
And of course, folks, if you want to see your event featured on a future Coastal Bend Weekend segment, make sure you send us a message.
And we have a live look outside for our neighbors in Corpus Christi. We'll have more news in your neighborhood when we come back.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
Welcome back. Chris 6 News has teamed up with the Gulf Coast Humane Society for the Clear the Shelters initiative, and all this week we have featured pets that you can bring home. And this afternoon, we want to show you Bonita. Bonita is a 5-year-old Staffordshire Terrier mix. She's a big girl with an even bigger heart, and Bonita suffers from mast cell tumors, but that doesn't stop her. She needs a family that will give her all the love and attention she deserves. And if you stop by the Gulf Coast Humane Society, you can go ahead and meet Bonita. That is on Cabanis Parkway.
What a cutie.
So cutie. You probably don't even notice the tumors from that. So
I was distracted because her nose looks like it's heart-shaped a little bit.
Oh.
Very bonita.
Bonita means pretty, right? English and Spanish, so she's a little pretty little lady.
That she is. So, you know, walking pups this weekend too can be kind of tough. I think the secret when we're dealing with this Texas heat, more frequent walks, but shorter ones. That helps out because we hit 100 today. I think we're going to do it again tomorrow, if not get very close to it. And, you know, the heat finally tames a bit on Monday when we get some rain in the forecast, but it's not going to be a whole lot. Not a washout for Labor Day or Tuesday. Just going to have more of those scattered showers back in the mix. But, yeah, a whole lot of heat. We are supposed to be looking at highs in the lower 90s for this time of the year. And you know what? We're overcheating. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, everybody stay hydrated if you do take those pups on for a walk.
Exactly. Kids, pets, and the elderly are most susceptible to heat-related illness, so let's make sure that if we're spending time outdoors to celebrate the holiday weekend, we're staying hydrated.
All right, everybody, we'll see you here at 6 o'clock. Good night.
Bye.